right? Maybe. Should I sell GME for pickle futures? No. Hey man, could there be any reason DRS would benefit the hedgies? I'm suspicious of the aggressive campaign with no room for discussion. Um, None that I currently see. I think what you're seeing is kind of like DRS being a simplistic route to MOASS. It's easy to understand, and it there is a solid grounding for the thesis in the market mechanics and how it operates, that it should create um, an increased rate of FTDs in the stock due to the lockup and the inability to find a locate on those shares. So where something might have failed before, DRS guarantees that it would fail, creating more FTDs. Then FTDs, come in further down the line and create volatility. If options are purchased, those options put pressure on that volatility and big money. But I mean, we're still yet to see that in the FTD data, but not a lot of the float is locked yet, right? Like it's 8% as of October 31st, and so we it needs time. It's a very but it's simple, right? It's easy for people to understand. It's easy to get behind. I wouldn't be too concerned with the vocal push for it. I don't think that's like a shill tactic. I think the community just believes in it. If that's the concern, um, if there was some benefit to short hedge funds from DRS, then yeah, they might push that narrative a little harder, um, because but I don't see one currently. But that's true of anything that would benefit short hedge funds, right? They would push those narratives. They would push things like buying puts on GameStop, right? Like uh or like what else? Selling covered calls, things like that, right? Because then like, if they could foment ever like a movement to sell covered calls on GameStop, right? Then they could drive the price up and collect a bunch of liquidity, um, and use that to satisfy FTDs. So it's like there's other things that they could push that would be more beneficial if that was the case. On a positive note, this price decline is transitory to a massive price increase. Usually, yep. Thanks, pickled squirrel. I've gotten maintenance and margin called 4 times in the last week. Are the hedges going through the same thing? I hope so. It's possible. Someone told me Occam's razor was a way of staying out of GME, but I keep seeing it being used in support of buying GameStop. Well, I mean, yeah, if it can be used both ways, obviously. Um, can you read us a story like you did Friday? No, that was just a one-time thing. GME on sale. I think like I think with something like that that's like widely supported by the community, the best use of it would be to use it against um other things that presented more risk, right? Like that would be the push if there was a manipulation tactic. I just don't I don't think that they give a shit. I think RC might be waiting for the LRC announcement, hype for tomorrow, waiting for hedges to hard push the price down before making it affordable for him to buy the remaining shares. I don't know if RC is buying in. It seems unlikely. The price is very high compared to where he bought in last time. But DRS shouldn't, like, that's what doesn't make sense to me, is that DRS shouldn't be a distraction to options, right? Because it just assists the goal of options, right? Like it creates an even more illiquid environment for those options to thrive in. And so like there being a divide like options versus DRS is stupid. One and the other, they are hand in hand ways of pushing MOASS together. Not, it's not like a divisive, it shouldn't be a divisive topic. The illiquidity created by DRS and by buy and hold are what fuel the potential of those options. So it's dumb for me to think like that would divide people. That's what I don't like. But I think that has nothing to do with like trying to split the community through some like hedge fund. I think that's just like people not understanding options or being misinformed as to their effect. People like No Fox who come out with DDs that disregard the fact that a short position still has to be delivered upon, and write bullshit DD. Pushing their narrative, and it sounds well informed, but it's just completely false, and that's the kind of shit that divides the community. How can people say you hate DRS when this emoji exists? Yeah, I've never hated DRS. Do I think its effect is much greater than buy and hold? I don't know yet. I don't have the data to prove that it is or it isn't. If I think, and I've said it before in the past, if I think that buy and hold is less effective than DRS in creating FTDs, which it should be theoretically, and I have data to prove that, I don't have a problem registering like some shares. Am I going to register a lot? Probably not, but I'll register some, and support, if nothing else. I just don't have the data to prove that, and so that makes me hesitant. If I had some proof that Fidelity or Vanguard were lending my shares without my permission, I would sue the fuck out of them. Isn't the theory that it isn't the brokers lending your shares, but the DTCC itself? Sort of, yeah. Like the DTCC is saying that shares held in street name are lent, regardless of your ownership status on them, as they are used as, it's that they're used as a locate, right? But I don't see how DRS has an effect on them needing to locate shares, because I don't think share location is something they're overly concerned with, based on the paper that I read Friday, right? So really, I think really it's a question: is your lender lending your shares without your permission or not? I don't think it's so much that they need to facilitate a locate. You guys have lawyer money? Oh, I mean, if a brokerage as large as Fidelity or Vanguard breaches their fiduciary duty to a customer, you don't need lawyer money. The lawyer will just go get his own money out of them. Ask a lawyer. Like if you have evidence that, your brokerage breached their fiduciary duty towards you, you definitely have a case for damages. I moved some of my shares between my Fidelity accounts last week, and my cost basis has still not been updated. The shares that have been moved currently show a $0 cost basis for a little 100% gain. It takes a little while for that to update. I wouldn't be super concerned with that. That's not too uncommon. Clip that about DRS and